This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Battleborn Management, the owners of Hardway 8 and Starboard Tack. You can still get some food orders in over Starboard Tack and Hardway 8. They are open for takeout. Today
Hardway
we have
is
on
also
the show.
brother.
Shut up, stupid. Today we have on the show the dope-ass chef, Chef Brian Howard from Sparrow and Wolf. I'm pretty damn excited to have him. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty excited to have Jose Salinas joining us for another 3 minutes. There he is. Right there, your head looks superimposed. You don't even look like you're in the room right now.
Oh, howdy, y'all.
That is Jose. That's Joey Swiggavino, the original Swiggavino himself, the creator.
You have an empty glass. I'm not going to cheers an empty glass.
All right.
Now introducing the fabulous Swiggavino brothers.
All right, let me go get a beer. Keep rolling. I want to get the beer.
Man. So,
Guys.
Hey!
Technology. I apologize. I apparently I don't have Skype.
Okay, boomer. Okay.
What's going on, guys?
What's up, dog? Well,
Chilling, man.
Welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be here, man. I like what you guys are doing, man. I've been listening to them. They sound like a lot of fun, man. I'm honored to be here with you guys. Everybody's safe and well, I hope, and not gone off the deep end yet.
We've all gone off the deep end in some way.
A little bit.
I can dig it.
We're putting our toes in the water at least.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dope, man.
life, right?
We've been chasing you down for what, 2 weeks, 2 months.
I know. I feel well, both ends. So but yeah, we're finally here, man. I'm good to be here, and I'm happy to see your guys' faces, man. It's been too long.
Yeah.
We got to get all these faces together with at your restaurant, man.
Yeah,
Face
for
to
sure.
face, real face to face, man.
Yeah, we got a cool party we're throwing on June 5th. It's a little birthday party. We're bringing the Sean DeGraff band in. So we open up that week. We open up June 1st, kind of soft into it, and then June 5th we're throwing a little party and doing 2 seatings that night. So we just launched. That's what I was in the middle of doing. I was just launching that on social media just now. So I'm happy to finally say we're opening our doors and to get back to it and get the engine running.
Woo!
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that, brother.
That's fucking awesome. That's
Chef,
awesome.
and
Cheers.
what made you decide on a June 1st opening and not an immediate opening with everybody else?
Well, even when all this went down, we were the first to close locally. I think we kind of saw it coming around and knew it was going to come our way and didn't really know what to expect. And I was like, wow, this can't be good. But to answer your question, I guess, I think it's important that, one, like, what are we going back to, right? And, understanding that. But at the same time, I also said, like, one, we were expecting to be in phase 3 by our governor.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he dropped, like, hey, you can open up in 2 days, we had already planned June 1st. It was just like, you know what, we've got, I wanted this whole thing to be a more of a positive approach to our plans and our regulations versus making it about COVID, making it about all these scary new health rules and things that have to happen. So we created a future forward plan with our team and looked at it as a positive way to reset as a restaurant going into year 3 going into year 4, and looking at ways that we may have missed over the last 3 years from a neighborhood restaurant perspective, and kind of also areas where our restaurant had evolved into things that it wasn't originally set out to be, or tourist guests demanded certain things. And so I looked at it a way that is like a positive way to reset and refocus on those things versus just being like, oh, the doors are open, let's rush to it. Because, we know there's a lot of pent up, people looking to get out, and at the same time, like, my goal is to make sure that, safety first and foremost for my team and my staff, and that, we're going to come in this and we're going to do it right. We're not going to miss a beat, and that we leave, we come back just as strong as when we left. So,
That's beautiful.
at the end of the day, I'm seeing what's happening, and I'm happy with my decision. At the end of the day, I think there's a lot of people going out looking to get out, and obviously we all have to get back to business. But, like, we have to go back to business that's going to be sustainable for us all too. right? So, I want to make sure that everybody's ready to come back too, So we finally got all of our stuff together. We've disinfected the whole restaurant. We came in, had it fogged. We had it all disinfected. We've got our new seating assignments are being placed right now, and all of the regulations and books are being made, and we start training this week. And we got a brand new menu. So
Congrats on that. How does someone get a reservation? Are you an open table guy? Or are you just calling in reservations? A little bit of both? What's the best way to get in there?
You can do both. We are on Open Table. You can book them directly from sparrowandwolflv.com. You can call directly to the phone number as well. We'll take reservations. We are trying to stick to reservations only for right now, just to avoid any kind of large crowds or gatherings. But at the end of the day, too, we'll play that on a case-by-case, basis, too. I'm not going to turn down people if there's nobody in the dining room either, So, I'm hoping we come back and we can do this right and we stay busy and kind of, come back to where we left off, if not better. I'm excited about the new menu. We got a brand new menu, like 22 new items that we're dropping. It was funny, like the way everything happened. We were getting ready to launch our summer menu, our spring menu, and we like literally a week before all this went down, brand new menu design and everything, and we didn't get the opportunity, so we missed most of spring, but we're coming out strong for the summer. We've got some fun things for everybody. I'm excited about it. So,
Hey, Chef, for everything you've accomplished so far, how do you keep yourself motivated to keep doing it day in and day out, such as your new menus and spring seasonality? How do you keep yourself going? Like, what's the next goal, and what do you plan on doing? Ambitiously, what are you doing in the next 5 years?
Ambitiously, am I doing well? Two-part question, I guess. The first part, I'm like everybody else. I have my ups and downs, and sometimes motivation's hard to find. I know coming out of this, there were some moments where, I had to dig deep to find some motivation to come out strong. And because I was like literally when we decided, you're like, you don't know. It's the first time in my life I haven't had an answer to what the future beholds, for me, or, not that we can predict the future, but at least to some sense, we have a good guideline of like what's going to happen.
Right.
So at least knowing what we're going to come into. So with this, I was, we were looking at doing everything from like doing a pop-up of a future concept that we're about to launch for the next 6 months in this space, and really kind of like pivoting real hard. And then when they announced it, I saw everybody rush out, and I'm like, I don't know if that might not be a good move. This could change in 2 days. It could change in a week, and to make an investment like that could be devastating to both brands. But I think I'm the type of guy that I have to go through all of the thoughts and all of the processes for me before I make a decision. And sometimes I usually go back to the first decision that was there. So right now we're going to double down on our brand. We've spent 3 years building something really good. But again, like getting back to like my big thing right now is get back to our locals, get back to our community really even harder than we used to. And then, we've got a couple of projects that we've been working on and developing over the last 2 years that, hopefully in the next 5 years, in the next 5 years, I hope to have a good handful of projects going, and I even think by next year, I'm hoping to have 2 more, that's our goal. But at the end of the day, I've always took my time. I'm not in a rush. I feel like I've got a long life to live, and this is just the beginning. I really try to do things that make impact on the longevity of my life and then the people around me, right? So like most of my staff has worked here since the beginning for the most part. We've got a good handful of people that we've retained, and I really am trying to develop them to do more for themselves and build them, but also build, because I think it starts with the people. I learned real quick, and I've said this before a few times, but I learned after I got into this, I was no longer like in the restaurant business. I was in the people business. It wasn't about me or my food or anything. It's about the guys that make this happen every day. It's about the guests that come through the door, the busser, the dishwasher. Like without them, and in hiring the right people is important. But without them, there is no, I'm just a brand and kind of have some ideas in my head to throw around, and these guys make it all happen. So really it's about them and how we can grow everybody around me. That's why I do this job. I love hospitality. I just want to throw a dinner party every night and see people smile.
Hey,
But
Andrew.
I really I get off on watching my people grow. Watching
Yeah.
the dishwasher become a prep cook, and because that was me. And so that's kind of, if that answers the question.
I just love that quote, man. Like, you're no longer in the restaurant business, you're in the people business. That just speaks about what you're doing for the people in the community, man. It's really nice. Love
I
it.
appreciate it, and I wish I could do more. We try, and I feel like I don't do enough. But we're always doing something. You're always beating yourself. I feel like we're all of us in this industry. We're as hospitalitarians, we're always doing stuff for everybody else, and you always feel like you're not doing enough. So like I'm like told my wife, I'm like, I got to do more this year. We got to do this, and she's like, dude, like twice a week, 3 times a week, you're doing stuff for everybody else. And you gotta focus on you. But
Is that a real word, hospitalitarians?
I think so. I believe so. I may have made that up. I don't know. I feel like it
I
is.
love
you
it.
Adam is going to check on it right now. That's great.
You say pescatarian? That's what I heard.
Oh, pescatarian. My bad. Go ahead, Adam. Sorry.
So how much, for what you had planned for the next year or 5 years, how much are you altering what you have planned, or what you want to see happen? Or, and obviously it's day by day, like you said before, but how much altering?
We literally signed a lease the Friday before we closed the restaurant.
Wow.
Literally on a project right across the parking lot from Sparrow and Wolf. I love the neighborhood we're in. I love Spring Mountain Road. I love everything about Chinatown and everything here. And I want to be on the street for a long time. So we were looking at doing a couple projects here in the same parking lot, and that still may happen. But I would say it's prolonged for a little bit, at least through the summer, just to kind of see what happens economically and how Vegas comes back, because we are a big tourist market, especially where we're located. We see 60% of our traffic is now tourist. So, without that, I don't know what's to happen, but to alter, I think it's just, you got to be pivoting, and you got to be nimble. It's the same thing with our menu and the meat prices and the product that you can or cannot get. When people ask me about that question, it's just like, okay, be nimble. Just don't. You got to be able to just move and be fluid and recreate as needed. Like you said, dip your feet in the water, but man, always keep your head high, right? Like, if we don't stay positive through this, because that's the biggest thing, right? Like, this whole thing could have been devastating for a lot of people, and if I've seen it be devastating for some of my friends, and mentally, and we even wearing on myself. I know we've probably all gone through moments that are really dark.
So, Chef, what have you done? What have you done specifically to stay in a positive mind frame?
You know what I tell you, if I didn't, my little boy and my wife are like, they're my everything. So, that watching him grow, I've been cooking with him a lot, and like I've actually been using him as kind of a platform, because I really, as much as I like to be social, I hate being on camera, even though I've done it a bunch of times. I just, that's not the guy I want to be. So I let him speak through me sometimes. So
he's great on there, by the way.
Yeah, doing a little bit of that, but I started meditating a lot over this period, even more. I used to meditate a bit, before, but now I found out like I need it. It really helps me find balance. I tell you, like 2-3 weeks ago, when I was debating switching the concept up into a pop-up, right, and launching this brand that we were going to put across the street.
Wow.
That Saturday night, I had so much anxiety. I just couldn't sleep. I just don't sleep as it is, but like I was just so much anxiety, and I went and I meditated, and I came out of it, and I had the answers. I realized that I was letting fear guide my decisions, and I realized that, like we probably do that a lot. So
Yeah, man.
that's been a big help for me, is the meditational point, and just kind of being able to come back loose. And then, again, just taking one foot in front of the other. Like, if you don't start, you'll never go anywhere, right? If you stay in the rocking chair and sit there and rock every day, you ain't gonna make no progress forward. So, you know, like writing the menu was a tough battle, because you're like, what are we coming back to? Is my price point going to be okay? Can I come back to the same, you know, is it you know, the quality of ingredients and all these things, right? You question everything. And at the end of the day, I'm like, you know what, fuck it, we're going to double down on what we do. And if we go out and we fail at it, at least I fail at knowing that I did what I love, right? And you know, I don't think we're going to fail, but you know, at the end of the day, you know, who knows what the fuck's going to happen in the future. And even then, right, just stand behind what you do.
Chef, are you still keeping that beautiful garden?
I am. And actually, this is the first year, and my garden has never been beautiful. It's been like overgrown and crazy, and like I like would plant it and then kind of let it do its thing. So I'd end up with like a jungle of tomato plants. This is the first year I've been able to like maintain it on a regular basis, so it looks really good now. Yeah, I'm proud of it actually, because it's not fruity. I got some peppers and stuff coming out of it, but shortly it'll be really producing some fun stuff. And it's cool my son, for him to see like where food comes from, and he gets a kick out of it. You know, and I realize quarantine makes people make bad decisions. You know, we ended up getting a lizard for the house.
The house lizard.
Like a bearded dragon thing, right? For my kid. I don't like bugs at all, like roaches, crickets, and that's what this thing eats. It was my wife's decisions, and I've been with her for 17 years, and never in my life would she ever come to me and say, hey, how about we get a lizard? So I woke up in the morning and she was like, hey, a friend's got a lizard. And I'm like, oh yeah, you should totally get it. You should totally get it, because that's on her now.
That's awesome.
Oh, and Chef, so I know you were talking about how you plan the menu and you're thinking about doubling down. And I know no one has a crystal ball, but when you were doing it, like what are you thinking your projected sales are going to be? Like, are they going to be close? And then as far as like consumer habits, what did you have in your mind?
Okay, so yeah, we went through all that. No, I couldn't tell you what my projected sales are going to be. I have zero anticipation. I mean, we've done the numbers based on 50% capacity, and we went from 115 seats down to 52. You know, so that's a big hit right there. You know, and I tried to come out with, you know, good product that's in a good price range and seasonal, and still shows what we do without diluting our brand. That was my biggest fear too. I was like, man, I don't, you know, everybody, I'm on all these webinars every morning with people all across the country, and everybody's limiting the menus, or I mean, you got like Noma went to a burger concept. You got all these places that are really pivoting hard, where I'm like, I don't want to dilute what we do. You know, it's important that, hold on one second, guys.
That's great.
You know,
Next time.
If you're just tuning in, we have Chef Brian Howard.
Is this live? Is this a live thing, or are we recording this? There he is. He finally came out of the woodwork. Sorry. Back to your question. Yeah, no, I think, you know, one, it's hard to project any kind of sales of what's going to happen, but from the sounds of it, it looks like people are coming out. Two, from a menu direction, you know, just, you know, the big thing is like stand behind what we do. But also, like I said, resetting enough where we're focusing on our community and focusing on having things that we set out to be a neighborhood restaurant, you know, and we, you know, one thing we missed out on, like, we make an awesome burger, right? It was never in print, right? We never put it in print.
Yes, you did, and I wish it was in print.
It's in print now.
I'm the first person to tell you that.
So we have
Brad,
that now. You know, we have some items that, you know, I think are, you know, I think right now everybody's also looking for a connection to something too, right? I know that myself, I find myself cooking things that I grew up on a lot, or, you know, gravitating things that make, you know, give me big hugs inside and all that. So like, I think that's the biggest thing too from us, for a standpoint, is be able to offer those things to our guests that come through the door, and make sure that we're giving them big hugs through food. But at the same time, still giving them that Sparrow and Wolf experience, and, you know, kind of dividing the lines between cultures and inspiration of cuisine around us.
How many
Fucking
people
love
do you
that.
kill as a chef? You ever try to beat up a couple people?
Beat up a couple people
Yeah, like really want to put some hands on like a colleague.
on a colleague.
Right here, G. I'm just waiting. Whenever you're ready.
Yeah, that's a fair question.
Chef, I want to see that world heavyweight title belt that you've got. I know it's in the office somewhere.
Say that again.
Your world heavyweight championship belt. Gene wants to see it.
I think I got
No.
beat up more times than I beat up people in my life. That's badass.
Oh, there it is right there.
Hey, I went in the office and stole it. Don't beat me up.
That's funny.
Jeff, is there a dish in particular that you're really excited to talk about? Because I want to get down to the nitty gritty. I want a dish, and I want to see if the cocktails that you're doing have changed at all. You've already had such a wonderful people behind the bar. Are any of the cocktails being redone, or is it just
Yeah,
the food?
yeah, totally. Actually, we've been tasting them today.
Wow.
We just started doing some tastings and stuff today. So over the next 2 days, we'll be finalizing the details on those. But Alyssa's working on some really great stuff up at the bar. You know, a good foundational mix between classics and, you know, some of her own signature stuff that she's doing. And so I'm excited about that. But, you know, we are going into summertime. So, you know, we're bringing back the slushy machine. We're bringing back some cool stuff that we've done in the past, the Spring Mountain Sour. But, yeah, you can expect a lot of good stuff off the bar. From the menu, yeah, we've got a ton. And I'm really focusing. I've been eating a lot of vegetables. And I think I'm trying to go for a little bit, get a little healthy over the next couple of years on me and just kind of watch what we do. But we've got definitely some more plant-based and vegetable-forward dishes. I'm super excited about this beef carpaccio with shawarma pickles that we're doing. One of my favorite things to eat. Have you guys been to Hummus on Sahara by Golden Steer?
No.
Not.
Okay, all of you need to do that this week.
You have homework.
Yep.
I love it.
I don't know if you like good shawarma, but that's the place to go. It's the best in the city, and it's the best outside of Detroit I've ever had.
So when you say you're doing shawarma vegetables, how?
Yeah, so we're doing a beef carpaccio that's going to be seasoned with shawarma spices, and then we're actually using the pickles that you would find in like a shawarma. We're going to kind of finesse those a little bit and use the shawarma spices in the pickling brine, which is fun. I've also got some really cool smoked pork ribs, Gene. I saw you falling asleep.
Not even.
He's like vegetables.
We're gonna do some really cool country ribs off the wood fire with like some Vietnamese flavors, fish sauce and Thai chilies and lime and stuff like that on there. You know, some good simple stuff too, like pan roast of shrimp with, you know, olive oil, lemon, and harissa. Our whole lamb necks are still going to be on the menu. That'll probably never go anywhere, but we're going to do it barbacoa style now. And we're actually working on these really dope cascabel chili tortillas to go with them instead of the crazy we typically do. But you know, you're going to have a good variety. We've got, you know, we're bringing back the lasagna that we cook in the coals.
Nice.
That burger that we're doing is it's a heritage pork burger. And it is kind of based off of a Cantonese meatball filling that you would find in like dumplings. So it's got like whiskey and shiitake mushrooms and scallions in it.
Hell yeah.
They're brushed with mushroom butter, and you know we're working on this seasoning for our French fries, where we're dehydrating miso paste and like Japanese hot mustard, and we're going to be making like a house season for our fries. It's pretty unique and fun. So yeah, we got some fun stuff, you know.
That sounds dope.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you are not limiting. I mean, even if you were doing 50% capacity, it sounds like you are going balls to the wall. Like you are just bringing whatever you feel like doing, however you feel like doing it, and there's going to be no difference in terms of.
We want you to have the same experience that you had before.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we went over everything. The goal is, I mean, you can plan to be slow if you want, but why would you do such a thing? Plan to be busy. Right? That's what I try to tell our team. Like,
Build it and they will come.
there's no
Yeah.
sense of like setting ourselves up for failure. Let's go out and plan to be busy. Let's write a menu and do everything we can to double down on what we do and bring people through the doors. And you know, I think it'll all come back around. We've got we're going to be doing something fun and unique. Obviously, we're going to single-use menus with QR codes, but we're featuring our artist, Heather Grace. You guys might know her. She does a lot of stuff downtown. She did the murals inside the restaurant, but we're going to be putting some of her artwork on the back of the menus so people can take that home with them, color it, and then tag us in it, and then we'll be giving you an offer to come back for free and on something if you do that. But it'd be a good way to like showcase her art. And if you haven't seen the exterior of the building, we just painted it white, and we got a big mural going up on the side of the building as well. So really, like I said, it's doubling down during these times for us. You know, it's a roll of the dice, but at the end of the day, like, if you don't bet on yourself, then why do it?
I love it. I can't wait to come in and fuck shit up. Yep.
Can't wait for you to come in and fuck shit up.
Mean that.
And Chef, you didn't mention the bone marrow dumplings.
Man, that might be there. That might be there.
All right.
You were like five people were like, you got the bone marrow dumplings? And I'm like, we might.
Dream about that dish.
Right.
Appreciate that. You know, and I expect our menu to kind of change every couple weeks based on product availability and what's happening. That was our goal. So, you know, like I said, just being fluid and seeing what's happening, and you know, we run through it and we make adjustments as go. So I'm sure that the bone marrow dumplings aren't on the first menu, but they will make a comeback. You will see them. I also wanted to drop some new stuff for everybody too.
When you say that you want to be a neighborhood restaurant, you're for the community neighborhood restaurant, do you see through your food that the neighborhood is susceptible to what you're cooking and they like what you're doing? Or do they believe, or do you think sometimes they say it's too highbrow for being a neighborhood Spring Mountain restaurant?
What do you say as a local?
Oh, well, I'm a little bit better than those locals that I'm thinking of. Those peons, those
Whoa!
What is going
I
on?
don't do labor. Come on, no. I think it's perfect. I think it's fine. I just didn't know. I've always thought about that because Hardway 8, you know, they had to change their menu a little bit down there in Henderson because they wanted to do a little something different. But
sure,
Henderson, hey now.
Yeah, no, I can dig that. You know, I honestly, I think that everything we've done has been well received, I think, for the most part by our locals and you know, definitely with the foodie community. But again, when we talk about really resetting and really doubling down on the people around us, you know, we saw in an instant, like, the tourists were gone, like, overnight. It just stopped, right? Yeah. And it made me realize, like, real hard, like, man, without the people that we have coming through this door as regulars, you know, we get people, you know, a couple guys, you know, that are here 3-4 times a week. You know, without those people and the neighborhoods that we haven't even touched yet, you know, we're really kind of focusing on a guerrilla marketing plan too, to even go into the communities that we haven't touched on. And we want to make sure that we offer something that is something for everyone, but at the same time doesn't change what Sparrow and Wolf is about or what we do. So no, I don't think it's I think there's minor adjustments to be made when you talk about being too highbrow, you know, and that's a little bit of like, you know, when we talked about like guest demands, right? Where when we opened, we didn't have a bottle of wine over $100 on the menu. Our guests that came into town demanded more. They wanted bigger bottles of wine. They saw that, you know, that $400 bottle of wine on the strip is $150 here. They want to have that kind of stuff, you know. So we I guess extended our offerings a little bit too, and maybe I think we change so often with our menu. I mean, I'm sure there's points where we've become a little bit too highbrow in certain areas, but it should never be that way because really we're just throwing a dinner party every day.
Nice. I like dinner parties.
Me too.
I do.
Amen to that. Build it and they will come. I think that's honestly, if I don't get anything else out of what's happened so far, Chef, it's build it and they will come. And you're doing something that everyone likes. And if it's tourists and if it's the neighborhood and if it's everybody else, in the city. That's what I've seen Sparrow and Wolf be to this point, and I can't imagine it's going to change when you open your doors on June 1st. So that's.
Yeah, I hope so, and that's the thing. That's what we looked at. Like like I said, even with the new menu design, it's simpler, right? And then we went back to like a couple of things that I found this time. Like we created like along the way we find new tools to make ourselves better at what we do and how we operate, whether it's through technology. And we've implemented these like digital prep lists and a lot of digital stuff, technology that we're able to share information. And I realized over this whole break, I stopped using it, went back to just a nice notepad, and got back to writing on my pad again. And I think there's certain things to be said about that. And I think looking at even just doing the menu design today in Word and not InDesign or programs that everybody can use inside of our office, there's a lot to be said for those things. And not that the technology is bad, but we are in a digital shift, I think, right now. I think we are going to make a transformation. So you need to kind of decide on what things make the most impact on you and your team around you to be most successful. But I think, all that is important to how we react right now.
I got a stupid question for you. If you were on an island, what 2 other chefs would you take with you that aren't in your restaurant? I like that.
2 other chefs would I take with me that aren't in my restaurant?
Local
chefs. Let's see. That's a good one.
But here's the thing though, too. This could go either way, because it could be somebody you really enjoy the company, and then also somebody that you want to murder because now you're on a desert island, and who's going to stop you?
Adam, stop answering the question for him.
Shut the fuck up.
Honestly, like I don't think that I couldn't answer. I can answer number 2, the chef I would like to murder. I couldn't answer it because I think anybody that's doing something for our community right now deserves respect, and anybody that can basically any whether it's a bartender or a chef or anybody that puts themselves out there that do something for their community, man, God bless them, and I wish them the best. So I don't hate on people like that, but I guess I love hanging out, drinking, and cooking with Justin Kingsley Hall. He's one of my favorites. Gary Lamort, he's the Jedi, and I can imagine would help us get off that island in the proper way. So those are probably my 2 dudes to do. And Gina Marinelli, she cooks great pasta and lovely person to be around. So I'm taking 3 with me.
There you go.
Nice.
You taking me, bro? That's what I want to know.
I would hope we get all of you. That's so we have some good drinks along the way, and
We need a bartender.
need wrestlers too.
You take Jose with you. Drink all that booze. You ain't sharing shit.
Let's go ahead and wrap this up. Adam, Gene, Jose, is there anything else? Anything else you want to comment?
I'd like to add that on coming in hard to color your menu. I think you should have a contest who colors it best, and let the artist pick the winner, and give them one of those appetizers, the vegetable shawarma. That's my idea.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea.
No, I appreciate you guys, and I'm happy to see everybody's doing well, and hopefully moving in the right direction. I'd love to do this another time so I can ask you guys questions and pick your guys' brain, because to me that's more important. But thank you. I'm grateful that you even thought of me to be on here, and we appreciate you. So hopefully we'll see you in the restaurant soon.
Hey, I'll do this live too one day.
Let's do it. All right, guys.
Thank you,
Chef. Thank you, Chef.
Thank you for giving back to the
Thank you for everything you've done.
I appreciate it. Take care.
Later.
Adios.
I can't believe you let Jose hijack our show.
Look at that cat.
Look at that pussy.
I don't see it. My screen's broken.
This is
Gene, you're the one that
Melvina.
was asking about fighting people.
And you interrupted.
And you interrupted.
Hey, Jose,
Oh.
you piece of shit.
Thanks, bro.
Cuz you should be around more often, but you fucking curmudgeon. God damn.
Oh, hey, the language. Oh.
I went too far with curmudgeon.
He used the C word.
Curmudgeon.
I think he said-
Curmudgeon.
I think he said the F word.
Oh,
Is it
yeah, that
curb?
one's
Curmudgeon.
I think it's Kermit.
Kermit?
Gene Samuel, how
Kermit.
high are you right now? That's what I want to know.
Not very, because I haven't smoked in probably
1 hour?
5 minutes.
1 hour.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
I don't like talking about my weed habit by being recorded. So edit that shit out.
Well, yeah.
It will.
Adam,
Here, I'll
stop
stop
the
recording
call.
right now. Yeah. Oops, I forgot to hit record. No.